Hi, my friends. I am super excited to be with you today, virtually, and also for the things that we're talking about. But first, let's do a pop check. Okay, so we are going to do the P first. Pop stands for pause, and then own it, and then practice. So the first P is to pause. Let's take a second. We are going to sit somewhere. Crisscross applesauce on the floor if you want, or with your feet on the floor, firmly planted in a chair. You're going to want to sit up with your back straight, and we're going to take a moment to stop or pause. So take a deep breath with your nose and out with your mouth. Okay, and then you're going to rub your hands together, and you can either put your elbows on your knees or on the table, and then you can either put your face in your hands like this, or you can interlace your fingers. And so what we're going to do is take another deep breath with our nose and out with our mouth. And we are going to, now that we've paused, we are going to own what we feel. That's just noticing, this is how I feel. And so put your hand on your heart or in the middle of your chest, make a fist, and we're going to do a thumb check. Okay, so do a thumbs up if you're feeling like, there you go. If you're feeling like I'm having a good day, I feel happy, or I feel calm, or I feel excited, or you're going to do a thumb sideways for the thumb check. If you're feeling kind of in the middle, not great, but not terrible, or thumbs down if you're feeling like it's been a kind of a bad day. I'm frustrated. We just learned about feeling frustrated, or I'm sad, I'm disappointed, I'm angry, I feel a little sick or tired. So we're going to do a thumb check. Okay, so take another deep breath out with your mouth. We're just going to own what we feel is not who we are, but that's how we feel. And so that's okay. And it's helpful for us to know, how do we feel right now, so that we can get ready to learn. Okay, so now that we've done pause and own it, shake out your arms. We're going to do a practice, and this is one of my very favorites. It is called Observe the Urge. To observe means to notice, and an urge is like when you feel like you want to do something. Okay, so when I say freeze, we are going to freeze however we are in our bodies, right? So you can get the wiggles out right now. You can shake your arms and your legs if that helps. If you want to stand, you're welcome to do that. If you want to sit and do this, that's what I'm going to do. Either way is cool. So go ahead and get the wiggles out. And on 3, 2, 1, freeze. And so it's okay if you blink, but you're not talking and you're not moving. Okay, so we're going to notice, starting with the bottom of our feet. Notice your feet. Are your feet on the ground, or are your feet touching something else like the couch or the chair? Is one foot on top of the other? Just notice. And then now we're going to take a second. We're going to move up our bodies, right? Now your legs. How do your legs feel? Do they feel tense, like the muscles are working really hard and they feel a little stiff maybe? Do your legs hurt? Are you starting to feel maybe like a tickle on your feet or your legs? Okay, so just notice. Maybe you're sitting crisscross applesauce. You can feel the pressure of one leg on top of another. Then moving up, now notice on your torso, like your stomach and your back and your chest, like, do you feel hungry? Do you feel maybe a tickle there? Does your back hurt? Right, some of the grownups might feel like some tension in their backs, some pain maybe. Just notice, but don't move your body yet. All right, now imagine your arms. Think about your arms and focus on them. How do your arms feel? How do your fingers feel? Do you feel anything that, again, a tickle or an itch? Just notice. We're going to try not to scratch anywhere that itches or rub anything that tickles, right? And now moving up, we're almost done. You guys are doing great. Move up all the way to the top of your head. Think of your face. Maybe this is where you're noticing like your nose is tickling, or your ears are starting to itch, right? Or maybe your head is itching a little bit and you just feel like you wish you could just rub, like scratch or stop that feeling, right? And we are almost done on 3, 2, 1. Now you can shake it out. All right, go ahead and get that itch that was itching you. Go ahead and scratch wherever it was bothering you. And I want you to take a minute. You can pause the video. After I share, I'm going to share what I noticed when I did that. And so this activity is called Observe the Urge. It's like a body scan where we're noticing all the parts of our body, but we're also noticing what are things that like my body feels like I want to do and that I don't do, right? And so I noticed that my back was hurting a little bit. And so I wanted to kind of just go like this and rub my back, but I didn't, right? And then my nose started tickling a little bit. And I wanted to maybe scratch my nose, but I didn't. And so go ahead and pause the video if you want. I want you to take a minute and think, what are the things that I noticed in my body? Did I notice that maybe I, should have sat in a different way, right? Or stood in a different way because my legs started hurting, right? We're not going to judge whether we did something bad or good. We're just going to notice, like, oh, next time I would do that differently. And then also just one of the reasons that we do this is one, to practice mindfulness, to practice that where we are, practice that. Being present, being in the room with our minds and our bodies, but also and not worrying about what's happening after class or like what kind of assignment am I going to have to do, or worrying about what happened before you watch this video. So just being in your mind, present to what's happening right now, but also this specific practice is really helpful for us to notice our ability to practice self-control. Okay, so there are going to be times where we feel like, I really want to do this, I really want to do this, and we can control our bodies. And so this is something to just remind us, especially when we're in a classroom and sometimes feel really squirrely and like we want to get up and move. Practicing this helps us know what we can do. And so thank you so much for participating in that pop check with me. Hope that helps you get ready to learn. So here's what we're going to do, my friends. I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to talk about the brain. All right. So here's a fun picture of the brain, and it's got different colors, which will be important in a little bit about what we're talking about. Because we cannot see our brains, which are inside of our heads, we're going to use our hand as a model. And so the model of the hand is something that we can take anywhere we go. So this is something that Dr. Dan Siegel taught us, or is teaching us about the brain with the hand model. So we're going to see this together. This is the brain stem at the very bottom, right here by your wrist. Okay, so put your hand up, and you can practice this as you're watching and reading with me. This is the brain stem where the top of your neck connects with your head. And so now you can even reach back here, the top of your neck reaches the bottom of your head. That is the brain stem. The brain stem is really important. It allows us to breathe, blink, and swallow. It also is part of the downstairs brain, which is the part where we think about survival, right? The idea of fight, flight, freeze. Let's say you were in the forest and you saw a bear, right? And our natural response usually will be something like, I'm going to run to protect myself, or I'm going to try to fight this bear, or I'm just going to freeze because I don't know what to do. And so that all happens in the brainstem. And now the limbic area, including the amygdala. So again, put your hand up and fold that thumb in. So this represents that, the amygdala and the limbic area. It helps you to feel really strong feelings and make memories. So this part of the brain is where our big feelings, our big emotions are. And now if you fold those fingers down, right, so your hand should look like this, or similar to what's on the screen from the PowerPoint. This is the prefrontal cortex, these fingers here. It's behind your eyebrows, so imagine here, like right back here, right? And so it helps you to pay attention. And friends, this is where we make good choices, this part of the brain. this frontal part of the brain. We can answer questions, we can make plans and set goals in this part of the brain. This is part of the upstairs brain. Okay, and so the downstairs brain is down here, and even down here as far as the limbic area, as far as I know. And up here up top is the upstairs brain, and that is the thinking part, right? Again, so this is where like we're able to make good choices and just think clearly. Okay, sometimes when we experience a strong emotion, we flip our lids, leaving our amygdala and the limbic system or limbic area in charge. Okay, so imagine you already have your hand like this, right? Go ahead and flip those fingers up, and that leaves this part of the brain kind of loose and just running wild, right? And so sometimes that looks like for us where it can be really kind of positive or negative, where it could be that you're really excited that your favorite baseball team made it to the playoffs, right? And or like you see like the winning goal of a game or something like that, where you're very excited, or your team just won, or you got an A on your exam, and just you're really, really excited, super, super excited, overcome with emotion, right? That's the big feelings being let out. It's not just feelings that we might consider bad. It can also be where, something happens that you get so angry or you get so sad, where suddenly you're, again, just feeling like overcome, like so much feelings of emotions, where, again, the big feelings are now like loose, and they're not protected the way they are when the prefrontal cortex is in charge. Here, when you flip your lid, the amygdala or the limbic area are kind of running the show and running how you're responding, right? And so that is when we flip our lids. And so it's important, though, again, remember, when the limbic area is tucked in here, when the limbic area is tucked in here under the prefrontal cortex and it's protected, then we can make good choices, right? Because a lot of times we can be really excited about something and just not make a good choice, and then you might hear someone say, like, I just wasn't thinking, right? Or sometimes we're just really upset about something, and so then we make choices, and a lot of times it feels like you say, like, I don't even care if I get in trouble for this, right? And so when this part of the brain is not covering this part of the brain, right, then we're not making very good choices usually. So it's important that we do things like what we have done already. The pop checks are super, super helpful in preparing us to calm down and to have the prefrontal cortex get back in charge. So, my friends, this week, what I would like for you to do for our assignment is to talk about, and again, I will make available the pop check reference sheet. It's going to show you all the different things that we have done for the pop check. And the practice activities are really helpful for when first, the whole pop check. First, we pause. We need a moment where we just say stop or pause, right? And then owning our feeling, or naming our feeling, is part of it. As soon as we start using our words, right? And this part is already loose if we flip our lid. As soon as we use our words, we take a deep breath with our nose and out with our mouth, and we say, I feel angry, or I feel sad, or I feel nervous or anxious. Whatever that big feeling is that you're experiencing, you're saying it and being able to use your words to name it. Dr. Dan Siegel uses the phrase, name it to tame it. It helps us to calm down, even just saying it. That's part of engaging or calling this part of the brain to come back. Okay, so when we pause and we own what we're feeling, and then we do a practice, we do calm down activities. And so I would like to hear from all my friends, what are your favorite activities to do when you flip your lid? And you can even tell me about when you flip your lid. I'm going to give you a lot of choice on how you want to do that. But I would love to hear, do you like doing color painting or color breath or lion's breath or slow lion's breath? I like that one better. Or do you like doing things like um, balloon breath or a brain massage or listening breath, write and rip? We just did that one recently. Any of those, I would love to hear how you do it, and how that helps you calm down when you flip your lid. So you'll see more instructions in the post, and I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing your creative work and things that you do to help calm down when you flip your lid. Because this is also not this whole flip your lid state. When you feel like this, a lot of times it doesn't feel too good, and it's not really good for us to stay there for too long. And so it's important that we eventually can get ourselves back here where we are able to make good choices. And yeah, so can't wait to see it. I'll see you soon, my friends. Bye.